Hello again. You might be watching me from a phone, a TV, or maybe a tablet. But what if I told you that all of these devices are actually computers? Surprised? Yes, they all are, at their core, computers. And these machines have taken many forms throughout history, from massive rooms to tiny parts that fit in our pockets. But that's not what we're really curious about. The real question is this: when started? Chapter 1. The Birth of Numbers. Calculating Order. Humanity tried to understand the universe, not with its eyes, but with its hands. A stone, a mark, a bead, each one representing a number. In Mesopotamia, notches were carved. In China, beads were counted. In Greece, gears turned. Humanity could now measure time, distance, and the stars. The first known mechanical computer, built to calculate solar and lunar cycles, it all began with a question. If the universe has an order, can we calculate it? Humans believed in the power of understanding through calculation, and without realizing it, they began to imitate their own minds. Chapter 2. Under the Shadow of War. The Thinking Machine. By the 17th century, calculation was no longer just mathematics. It was mechanics. Pascal's gears turned. Leibniz's wheels rotated. But the real turning point came in the darkness of the 20th century. 2 world wars forced humanity to compete not with weapons, but with information. Breaking codes became more valuable than firing bullets. 1941. Konrad Zuse, Z3. The first fully automatic programmable computer. 1943. Colossus, built in England to break Nazi codes. 1945. ENIAC. 30 tons, 18,000 vacuum tubes. The first electronic computer. Alan Turing asked a question. Can machines think? And perhaps without meaning to, he asked humanity the most dangerous question of all. Computers were no longer just calculating. They were deciding. Chapter 3. The Formula of Consciousness. The Birth of Software. When the war ended, the machines didn't stop, because once humanity speeds up, it never slows down. 1945. John von Neumann proposed an idea. If a machine could store both data and instructions in the same memory, it could rewrite any program. That idea became the birth of software. 1949. EDSAC, the first working computer using the von Neumann architecture. Computers now ran on code, not just hardware, and code became an invisible language, the first shared language between human and machine. Transistors replaced vacuum tubes. Throughout the 1950s, entire rooms began to shrink. Information now fit inside a single chip. 1958. Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce. They developed the integrated circuit. Computers became portable. For the first time, humans built a system like their own minds. Input, process, output. Chapter 4. The Personal Revolution. The Universe Born in a Garage. The 1970s. Humanity had reached the moon, but information was still locked in offices, until a few young minds brought it to the streets. 1971. Intel 4004. The first microprocessor. A computer, now small enough to fit on a chip. Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak started a revolution in a garage. Apple I brought the computer into homes. Bill Gates popularized software with BASIC. IBM institutionalized the personal computer. 1981. IBM PC. The modern PC era had begun. Computers were no longer just for scientists, they were for everyone. For the first time, humanity looked into its digital reflection. Chapter 5. The Heart of the Web. The Birth of the Internet. Connection. For thousands of years, humanity had searched for it. A way to share thoughts, knowledge, and emotion instantly. 1969. ARPANET. The first connection between UCLA and Stanford. 1983. TCP/IP. The standard protocol of the modern Internet. 1990. Tim Berners-Lee. The World Wide Web. HTML and HTTP opened access to information for all. Information was now free. But freedom brought dependence. Everyone was connected, yet no one was truly free. Chapter 6. The Visual Age. The Pixel Revolution. By the mid-1990s, computers were no longer just about text and numbers. They had become visual. Screens grew. Colors exploded. Games, animations, and 3D worlds were born. Humanity began to build its own reality. 1999. NVIDIA GeForce 256, the first GPU, a revolution in visual computing. Computers were no longer just tools. They were creative platforms. With a single click, new worlds were drawn. A single idea could reach millions. Chapter 7. The Universe in Our Hands. Mobile and Cloud. Steve Jobs took the stage. A phone, an iPod, and an internet communicator. The iPhone was unveiled, and everything changed. 2007. iPhone. The era of modern smartphones began. 2006 to 2010. The cloud, social media, digital identity. Computers became invisible infrastructure. Data centers grew like unseen cities. Every human had a digital shadow. Computers began to know us better than we knew ourselves. Chapter 8. Artificial Intelligence. The Thinking Algorithm. The 2010s. Computers learned to learn. They no longer needed to be told everything. Showing them an example was enough. 2012. The ImageNet revolution. The era of deep learning began. 2022. Generative artificial intelligence. Systems that created images, sound, and video from text became widespread. Machines no longer relied on knowledge. They had imagination. They could paint, compose music, speak, and answer. Humanity had created something that rivaled its own intelligence. Chapter 9. The Conscious Horizon. Quantum and Beyond. Now, a completely different revolution stands before us. Quantum computers are rewriting logic itself. No longer true or false. Everything can exist, all at once. 2019. Google Sycamore. A quantum processor performing calculations millions of times faster than supercomputers. 2024. Neuromorphic chips. Hardware modeled after the human brain's synaptic structure. Computers no longer just think, they feel. Heat, light, energy, all of it turns into information. Humanity stands on the edge of creating something greater than its own mind. Chapter 10. The End. The Timeline Complete. 1946. ENIAC. 1958. Integrated Circuit. 1971. Microprocessor. 1981, personal computer. 1990, internet. 2007, mobile era. 2012, artificial intelligence. 2024, quantum computer. What once filled an entire room now fits in the palm of a hand. What once only calculated numbers now processes sound, images, language, and thought. This is the computer of today. Tomorrow will bring quantum systems, biological chips, and self-replicating machines. Time moves forward. Everything is still being calculated. When started? Computer.